So I'm getting ready to move again, and I'll be going to a new apartment. So I thought I'd give you a quick tour of my apartment where I've been living for the last year. It's a very nice place. It has its good points and bad points, but mostly good points. But it's kind of unique, much different than my old apartment and also much different than my new apartment. So I want to document it and show you what it's like to live here in Zhongshan. Because I'm moving soon, I think it's okay for me to show you where I live. Across the street from my apartment is an elementary school, or primary school, that's kind of loud during the school year, but this time of year in the summer it's that quiet, of course. And this is the entrance to my garden. Outside there's a couple of supermarkets, a couple of noodle restaurants, and of course real estate agents to rent these apartments here. It's a brand new building. It's only been open for about a year, and then the ones over there are now just starting to fill up. 24-hour security and guarded gates and 2 main entrances. And then you walk up this little alley. Very lush garden, very green. Almost all of the apartments have been moved into now. There's still a few that's under construction. This one particularly is great for kids because it's right near an elementary school. And it's got this really cool playground. Man, if I were a little kid, I'd be so happy here. They call it the study garden, but it's just a giant playground. But over here we have the hive box. And this is where you get packages delivered. And then you come down and enter a code and it'll open the box so you can get your package from Taobao. There are a lot of young families, a lot of elderly people who take care of the young kids while the middle-aged folks go to work. So during the day you have a lot of old people playing with the kids. Management has been very, very on the spot. It's the same company that manages my office too. So they've got good security guys, excellent maintenance people. They're Johnny on the spot when you need them to be. This is the giant playground for the kids. The garden is a whole city block, and it's surrounded by these giant towers. And in between there's one even taller tower, but it creates a circle in the middle that at night you see people walking their dogs, or just going for a walk, or even jogging in a giant circle. So it's enclosed, it's serene. It's usually quieter than this, but it's about 5 o'clock. People are just coming home from work right now. And in the garden there's all these places where you can hang out and just kind of sit and chat with your neighbors. A good friend of mine and his wife actually bought an apartment here, and they're the ones that introduced it to me and helped me out getting situated with utilities and parking passes and meeting the owner of the apartment that I currently rent. There's another little sitting place, hangout place for you to just enjoy a day. I often see, old folks here just chatting and smoking cigarettes. And it goes on and on. It's not a big city block. There's 2 main entrances to the garden itself and 15 different entrances into the buildings. And this one up here, this tall one, this one's a lot of the smaller units, single units, and this is where I reside. But what I'm showing you is very typical for a garden here. Well, it's a community, apartment community. They call them gardens in China. But this is very typical of what you will see for new construction throughout China. Not just here in southern China, but also in the north. Over here is the swimming pool. That is obviously for children only. And I have never seen it used. They filled it up a couple weeks ago, but it was filthy dirty and they just drained it again. And I have never seen this fountain or anything. Again, this is only a year old, this apartment community, and it's never been used. And you can see it's just wall-to-wall apartments. One thing that this garden does not have is garbage chutes. A lot of towers and everything have a garbage chute. You just throw your garbage down the chute and it goes into the bin. Here you have to bring your garbage to these trash bins, which fill up very quickly, and as you can see, people just toss them on the sides and don't even bother putting in. So it's kind of smelly and very, very unfortunate. This is the entrance to my building. mismatched tile work. It's unfortunate. And then you can see, you know, after they post, you know, notices and everything, they leave the glue residue on the sides of the elevator. It's quite unfortunate. There's just not that attention to detail that you're used to in the West in these Chinese buildings. As you can see, I mean, even after a year, they still have the wood paneling around the elevator sills to protect them, even though everyone's moved in. View from the elevator bay. And if I pan down, you can see the park and swimming pool where I was just at. The hallways are not air conditioned. So your room is air conditioned, your apartment, but as soon as you step out into the hallway, it's very, very humid. When you come in, this broke. So this is the guy who installed my internet actually tore it off, and it stripped the screws and everything. So he told me he was going to come back and fix it, and it's been a month and he never did. So here's my bathroom. It's very modern, very clean. Almost all new apartments in China have a Western toilet and an enclosed shower. If you get an older one, it might be the squatter toilet and a wet bath combination. This exhaust fan broke about 6 months ago, and they still haven't fixed it. That's not the building management's fault, that's my owner's fault. Alright, so when you first come in, you know, the bathroom is to the right, and then I have this. It's very, very small. It's like a hotel room. So first I have my laundry situation here. I'm just drying some clothes, and then my ironing board, and then my clothes, because my closet space is quite limited. And so I had to buy that for extra space. And I got some carpets down, brand new fridge, a guitar that I never played that I really need to learn how to play, a small little air conditioning, but check it out. So the plug for the air conditioning is here, and they installed it here. So this cord has to run across the wall. This is very common. They have a term in China called chabado, and it basically means, it's all the same. But of course, to me, and to a Western eye, it probably looks sloppy. I have a kitchenette, but no hood vent. So I don't cook here. I prepare food, and then I will cook out on my balcony because there's no place for the smoke to go. And because it's just a small apartment, if I were to cook here, it would get on all my clothes. Then I have this utility balcony. It's not a real balcony. It's just where I hang my clothes. And then I have my washer, which is a very small washing machine, and also a hot water heater up there, which is all electric. Down here, let's see, this is where the air conditioning is situated, and this is my view from my balcony. It's not a place to hang out. Some tables from the local store. This couch I bought, a friend of mine bought for me on Taobao, and it was like $30. I mean, it was super, super cheap, and it's extremely uncomfortable. So I rarely sit on it, but it is there for guests and whatnot. And then I have my desk situation, Wi-Fi, which I pay for something like 1,400 RMB for a year, which by Western standards is super cheap. A great desk that again was on Taobao, very, very cheap. And then I have my bed, and forgive me, I need to change the sheets. I'm washing my sheets right now. And then I have my view. Oh, by the way, I have a projector. There's no TV, so I have a projector that projects onto this wall, which at night, you know, you close the blinds, it's really big and very, very cool. And I have this TV box here that lets me get HBO and ESPN, and yeah, it's all the Chinese versions of it because all the servers are still in China, but I can watch HBO on my wall. And this is where I sit and get work done, and this is my view. At night, this view is insanely beautiful. The whole city is lit up. One thing you can notice here is storage for bags and heaters for the winter time, because there are no heaters in southern China. And so it gets really, really cold in here. So I have a little space heater, one for the room and then one for the bathroom. And then take a look at this. I mentioned it's only a year old, but already there's a crack along the seam. And as you can see, it kind of dips down there, and that's following the concrete beam. And then this is just a plastered wall that separates my apartment from the apartment next to me. I'm on the top floor, and one of the nice things about being on the top floor is I have access to the roof. It's just up these stairs right across the way from my door. That's a long way down there. So I've done another video of Zhongshan from the roof, and this is going to be the same thing. That is the school and the neighborhood outside the garden, which is down there. You can see the parks, and then all of this is downtown Zhongshan. And this is Lihe Plaza, where I work right now, where I'll be moving and not working there very much longer. This is another building that they're building, going to be very high end. So it looks pretty cool, I think. And of course, off in the distance, you have the mountains. I love living here. It has been a great place. It's a small place, but again, it's just me. I don't need much space. It's easier to clean. And the price, $13.50 a month. That's it. Plus power and internet and water, and that just probably another $200 a month. So all in all, extremely cheap, especially for the center of Zhongshan. Very, very good price. Of course, my new apartment is free, so that's an even better price. In addition, at the bottom of all of the apartment buildings, you have these little areas for the mail. And if you look closely, not one of them has been used ever. Nobody gets mail here. Everything is delivered via Taobao or via electronic mail. This is the elevator bay to the Subterranean Garage, and they've had this this thing down for a year, basically. As you can see, it's worn to bits. And then of course here you can see very obviously what happened. Someone came in with their hands full and kicked it, and it's broken. Come out here, you got another place for the trash, and then this is for parking. And it's all assigned parking. It's becoming, this poor guy has a nice Range Rover and bought this space, but it's like the worst space because you have all the bikes behind him. So his beautiful black Range Rover is going to get all scratched up from all these motorbikes trying to get out. And as I mentioned, there's still a bunch of apartments under construction, and this is where they throw the trash. This is actually a fire exit, and for now it is a garbage dump. And they bring in this giant bulldozer about once a week to clear it out. If you have an e-bike, because it's a new apartment building, they have excellent infrastructure for e-bikes. Even though they're technically illegal in Zhongshan, many of the apartment communities have them. So they line up. Here, let me show you. You just line up the bikes and you plug it in there, and then it's about 1 kwai for 200 minutes. You can either use coin or a prepaid scan card.